Now, I understand that this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I think it's healthy to have conversations that people may disagree with. Me personally, and I'm going to give you guys the backstory in a second, but I believe that if your pastor is overweight, it's not just a health issue. I think there's a compromise in his ability to truly lead others. Now, I know that may sound harsh to a lot of people, but hear me out. I think the same discipline that it takes to serve God and to lead people in a spiritual sense should be applied to your own body. Listen, this is not about judgment, because we all have sin, from the pastor to the felon and everywhere in between. Sometimes they are the same person. We all are imperfect. It's just about asking the real uncomfortable questions. Like, how can someone stand on that pulpit, preach about self-discipline, self-control, but then ignore their own body? I don't know. Let me know what you think, but to me, that's just outrageous. It's completely outrageous. As a society, we will cancel a pastor if he cheats on his wife, if he's involved in some sort of scandal, but it's okay for him to slowly kill himself with food. Why don't we hold our leaders accountable for the way that they treat their body the same way that we hold them accountable for everything else? And I know you're probably thinking, well, that's his body. Yes, it is. But his body has a lot of influence on everyone who he leads. It's a subconscious signal that it's okay to abuse our bodies. And I think it's a very complex sin, right? Gluttony, because it's one of the few sins that we actually have to wear in our physical bodies. And with that being true, I think it makes it an even more important sin for our spiritual leaders to have mostly in control the way that it physically manifests. So I'm a very spiritual person. I've kind of transitioned from organized religion. That's a whole nother conversation. I've since gotten a lot closer to God since I walked away from organized religion. I believe in a lot of the principles of Christianity. I was raised in a very strict Christian household that created a lot of mental health issues for me, right? The shame, the guilt, the judgment that I carried in from that environment, right? It did a number on me. And it wasn't until I got away from organized religion. Now, I know all churches are not the same, and I don't have an issue with organized religion at all. I just, from my personal experience, once I walked away from organized religion, I found that I got closer to God. So through my personal spiritual journey, I started to read the Bible without all of the ideas that have been pushed on me from the church, and kind of experienced the Bible with fresh eyes. And that's what allowed it to really penetrate my spirit even more. I believe and I practice a lot of the traditional Christian approaches to spirituality. I'm talking about the Christianity that we used to practice prior to the colonization of Black people, right? Before the Europeans kind of took our religious beliefs and skewed them a bit, right? That's a whole nother topic in itself. So I honor my ancestors. I have a very spiritual walk with God, right? I connect to God in a way that's very personal to me. And that's just my belief. But anyway, back to the overweight pastors. Hey, real quick, we're going to get back to the subject in a second. When I started my weight loss journey, one of the very first things that helped me get the momentum going, right? That helped me start to release myself from some of the bad habits was one pivotal move. I stopped drinking alcohol. For at least the first year and a half of my weight loss journey, I did not have one drink. And I wish that I had Kava Haven, because I didn't have an alternative, right? This was 2012, 13. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were something out there, but nothing like this, or at least that I knew of. And if I had Kava Haven, it would have made my giving up of alcohol so much easier. Now, me personally, I still have one or two drinks every month, but 80% of the time, I'm having some sort of non-alcoholic beverage if I'm in a social setting. Kava Haven has become my go-to in the evening during my wind down after a long, stressful day. It's my little cup of heaven. It just gives me exactly what I need without having any of the regret in the morning. Kava is a natural substance. It's an actual leaf. And I've tried kava drinks from many different sources. Nobody nails the taste like Kava Haven. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It does numb your tongue a little bit, but you kind of get used to that after a while. The taste is amazing. I usually add a little club soda to it. and it does the job, right? A little ice, a little cognac glass. It just creates that vibe, right? It creates the moment for you to just kind of relax a little bit. It gives you this cool, subtle little natural buzz, which I really enjoy. It's really low calorie, so it doesn't take you off your path if you're on a weight loss journey. It's, to me, one of the best replacements for alcohol. And since Kava Haven is sponsoring today's video, when you scan the QR code on the screen or you click the link in the description, you can get 15% off your first bottle. This is an amazing deal. You won't get this anywhere else, so take advantage of it right now. Thank you, Kava Haven, for sponsoring today's video. Every time I've been in a church and I've experienced an overweight pastor, all I can say is that I feel some discord in my spirit. I feel that there's some sort of block that I'm experiencing to his message, and it may very well be something that's in my own mind. But I'm not the only one who has said this, right? This video was inspired by someone who asked me this question. He's like, yo, my pastor, I see him at Golden Corral after church, and he is going crazy. 3 plates, stuffing, macaroni and cheese, like really going in. And he said he felt like it compromised his trust for this man. And I 1000% obviously agreed. I've had a similar experience. I actually was in church three months ago. This was the last time I went to church, and I'll pop into church every now and then. I'm not against going to church. And the pastor, he had this story about running. He was making a joke. He was making a mockery out of exercise. And I'm thinking to myself, this man is sitting in front of this congregation of 500 people, and he's pretty much encouraging them to not take care of their bodies. I immediately walked out of the door. I think leaders should lead from the front. They should lead by example. And in no way does that mean that they should be perfect, because that doesn't exist. But we live in a physical realm where appearance, especially nowadays, has such an impact on the way that you are perceived, the way that you are heard, the way that you are honored and respected, the message that you are sending out to the people who depend on you for spiritual guidance. So with that being said, personally, I struggle with overweight spiritual leaders. I struggle with overweight leaders in any realm of life, to be honest. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm open to all of the criticism and feedback and differing opinions. That's completely accepted and welcomed, because that's life. My opinion on this is based on my experience of this, obviously, right? So in no world or realm of reality am I thinking that what I think is right and what you think is wrong. No, we all have our takes on things. That's the beauty of being human, differing opinions. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think. Hit the like button. And as always, remember, the body that you want is owned by a higher version of yourself. So evolve. Peace.